Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, you're gonna find out what kind of gaming performance you could expect from this old GT 740 4GB version in 2022. But before that, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe down below, and thank you for watching. Alright, so what we have here is an EVGA GeForce GT 740 Superclock 4GB version. And the specs are 1085 MHz base clock, 5000 MHz effective memory clock, 384 CUDA cores, and PCI 3.0, 4 GB of GDDR5 memory, and 128-bit bus. Also, this card does require a 6-pin power connection for a 400 minimum power supply. And for the connections, we have a DVI, DVI-I, and a mini HDMI. So basically, you could either use one of these adapters here, mini HDMI to a HDMI connection, or you could just get a wire that already comes with one side, mini HDMI to HDMI. Either way it works, or you could just use a DVI connection. But at least with this setup here, you could get sound out of it if you have, a monitor with speakers, or you connect it to a TV. So as the years pass by, cards like this become more and more rare to find. As I mentioned, this is the 4GB variant here, and it should be quite interesting how it performs in 2022, and that's what we're gonna find out. So next, I'm going to show you the system that I'll be using to test out this card, which I think is going to be more than efficient to get really good results out of this. So without further ado, let's take a look at my system here. So here is the build I'll be using to test out this old graphics card, which consists of an i5-10400F processor paired with the Asrock B460m HDV motherboard, 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM running at 3000 MHz, also 450 watt power supply. For the main boot drive, I have a 512 GB NVMe, secondary drive 500 GB SSD drive, and for the third 2.5 inch 1 TB hard drive, all neatly placed in this beautiful mini ITX CoolerMaster NR200 case. Definitely one of the best mini ITX cases I ever experienced building a computer with. Definitely recommend you guys getting this thing. It has plenty of room for hard drives and really easy to work around. So what's the conclusion here? This card is definitely not a 1080p card, that's for sure. 720p, it does pretty decent with a lot of the older titles, and that's what I'm going to show you in this video. And unfortunately, with a lot of the newer ones, because of the Nvidia stopped supporting the latest drivers for the 600 and 700 series cards, you're just pretty much unable to get any of the newer games, a lot of the newer games to run at all, with a lot of errors coming out. So it's pretty much a dead end. It doesn't matter what resolution you're going into, and that's really unfortunate, because I really feel like this thing still has a lot of juice left. Definitely a great little budget card. If you could get it for like 20-30 bucks, I wouldn't pay more than that for that. And this is the 4GB version, which is pretty rare nowadays, so it should be interesting how it does. So that's what I'm going to show you now. Couple of games here, and let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to leave some comments down below. Let me know what old graphics cards you have. I really appreciate your feedback. So without further ado, let's get into some of those gaming test benchmarks, so stay tuned. Alright, starting off with Fortnite here, and in my opinion, this card handles the game real well. So the settings I'm going to be using here is 720p, 1280 by 720p full screen, 100% scale resolution, and I will use the performance rendering mode here to get the maximum FPS. For a game like this, you're not really worrying about visuals here, so if you want to get those maximum FPS, these are really good settings. It also runs really well with DirectX 11. Of course, not as many FPS. So let's take a look what we have here. There you go. Not bad at all. The game is running really smooth, no stuttering. The 4 gig VRAM definitely helps out with this game. And I did forget to mention that I have this card overclocked, because if you know anything about my videos, I always try to squeeze a little bit juice out of this. And this card is a pretty good overclocker. I got it overclocked by 100 megs on the core and 300 megs on the memory clock. So pretty much to its maximum capabilities without crashing. Anything higher, of course I tried, would crash the game. Uh-oh, we want to get out of here. So as you can see, it definitely handles this game real well, and you could increase the settings to better resolution and higher settings, but for that maximum FPS, I think these are really perfect settings, and it's really running smooth. I'm very, very happy with the results here. Alright, so that concludes this game. Let's move on to something else. Now, when you try something a lot harder to run, like Horizon Zero Dawn, at least you're able to load it into the game, but even on the lowest settings, 1280 by 720p at full scale resolution, every option turned off on the lowest setting here, the game is barely playable. So here are the FPS here, even though it looks pretty decent, but here we are in the 20s. That's pretty much what you'd expect here. What's a harder game to run. We're going to be in the 20s. Yeah, but nevertheless, it is running somehow. And again, this is overclocked. 100 megs on the core, 300 megs on the memory. Give that extra 2-3 FPS. Does help out. I mean, it is running pretty decent, at least in the cave. I really hate to see what would happen when you go out. It'll probably drop another couple FPS, but definitely not the ideal FPS for this type of game. And again, I tried with many other games. I wanted to try God of War, and it just wouldn't work with it, unfortunately, because of the old drivers for this, even though it says DirectX 12 runtime, but it just unfortunately just wouldn't work with it at all. And many other games too, as also tried with Halo Infinite. Very disappointed, because I think it'll do pretty decent in both of those games. Alright, that concludes this game here. Let's jump into the next one. With Grand Theft Auto 5, you could expect the same results as Fortnite. This card handles this game really well, and the settings I'm going to use, again, 1280 by 720p, resolution, and I'm gonna just keep everything on the lowest settings just to get that maximum FPS. You can see there's plenty of VRAM there left, so you could really jack this game up on some settings, at least at this resolution. So let's take a look at the FPS here. Yeah, this game is definitely gonna run smooth with quite a bit options to increase the quality and still be able to play around 50 to 60 FPS. Alright, that concludes this game. Let's see what we have left. One more. Now, Resident Evil 3 Remake, you could say it's barely sort of playable. You be the judge here. But one thing I must say, having the 4 gigabytes of VRAM does help out a lot, because I have recently tested this game with some of the older 1 gig graphics cards, or even 2 gigabytes, and they were pretty much unbearable. Couldn't play at all this game. So here are the settings. As usual, 1280 by 720p, normal rendering mode, and every option off. That's right. Even though we still have some headroom for the VRAM there, we're only using 1.36 gigabytes out of the 4. I just wanted to get as much FPS as possible so the game runs as smooth as possible. So here are our numbers here. Again, not bad. If you were in the 30s or higher, then you're pretty much guaranteed to have a smooth gameplay. So as you can see, it's performing quite well with some room to tweak the graphics for better quality. And for instance, if you had this version at the 1 gigabyte, which is most of the ones that are being reviewed out there, you definitely would not get this kind of FPS. The game would be barely playable. So even though this card is old, the 4 gigs do help out in some cases. Now, I wanted to test out the Village, and unfortunately it would not start up with this old card. Yet another fail there. Very disappointed, because I think it could have ran at least on the lowest settings. So, oh well.
We're survivors. Gotta get that train moving.
So that wraps up this video. There are still plenty of games that this card could run. I may make additional videos of just single games by itself. We'll see. But that does conclude this review. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Hit that bell notification. Very important. That way you can stay tuned to the latest videos. And I'll see you guys in the next one. So goodbye.